Building confidence isn't something that happens instantly. It's a journey built piece by piece, step by step, and experience by experience. Confidence is something you earn. It's the outcome of discipline, persistence, and learning to trust yourself. Let me tell you, confidence isn't something that comes from outside sources. It doesn't come from someone telling you that you're amazing or from a collection of achievements. Sure, those things help, but true confidence is developed from within. It's about building the deep belief that no matter what happens, no matter the challenges, you can rely on yourself to get through it. And let me tell you, life will put that belief to the test. Life will ask you, are you certain you can do this? Are you strong enough? And it's in those moments that your confidence will either stand firm or fall apart. I've spent years studying human behavior, working with people who wanted to improve their lives, their businesses, and their futures. And I can confidently say that one of the most essential pillars of success, whether in personal life or in business, is confidence. But not just any confidence. The kind that doesn't shake because of one bad day, a negative comment, or a failed attempt. The type of confidence that remains steady no matter what comes your way. So how do you build this kind of confidence? Let me share 5 key principles I've learned over the years. These are things I've picked up from mentors, personal experience, and observing highly successful individuals. Confidence is an art, but it's also a science. There are specific things you can do, actions you can take, to build long-lasting confidence. Not the kind that fades when difficulties arise, but the kind that grows stronger with every challenge you face. The first step to developing lasting confidence is mastering the small disciplines. Let me explain what I mean by that. Confidence isn't created by doing something big once in a while. It's built by doing the little things consistently until they become a natural part of who you are. The small things may seem insignificant, but what happens when you start neglecting them? You weaken your foundation. Think about it. When you make a promise to yourself, even a small one, and don't keep it, you chip away at your own self-trust. You send yourself subtle messages that you can't be relied on. And if you can't trust yourself, how can you be confident? Confidence is built on trust, on knowing that you'll follow through on what you say, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. This method works because you're training yourself to be successful. Every time you follow through on a small commitment, you reinforce the idea that you are someone who does what they say they will do. Over time, this builds a solid foundation of self-trust. You no longer rely on external approval to feel good about yourself. You've cultivated it from within, piece by piece, day by day. But let's be clear. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You're human. You'll have off days where you don't meet your own expectations. That's okay. The important thing is how quickly you get back on track. Don't let one missed day turn into a missed week, which turns into a missed month. The faster you get back to your small habits, the less they will impact your confidence. Let me ask you something. How often do you keep the commitments you make to yourself? Not the big ones like securing a job or purchasing a house, but the small ones. Do you stick to your daily habits? Because if you're not, that's where you should start. Confidence doesn't come from making massive leaps all the time. It comes from making consistent small steps in the right direction. It's about mastering the basics. Many people want to focus on the big picture, the ultimate goal, but the reality is the big picture is made up of many small details. If you neglect the details, the big picture begins to fall apart. So, if you want to build strong, unshakable confidence, start with the small things. Make a small promise to yourself today, something realistic and doable, and follow through. Then do it again tomorrow and the next day. Over time, you'll notice how much stronger your confidence becomes simply because you've proven to yourself that you can be trusted. Every small discipline you master is like adding a coin to your confidence bank. At first, it might feel like you're not making much progress. But keep adding those coins, and one day you'll look back and realize you've built a wealth of confidence. And this kind of confidence, the kind that is built slowly, steadily, and with discipline, is the kind that lasts for a lifetime. So the first rule of building long-term confidence is simple: master the small disciplines. Because if you can trust yourself with the little things, you can trust yourself with the big ones when they come. Now let's talk about facing your fears instead of avoiding them. This might make you uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Fear is one of the biggest enemies of confidence. No matter how much you accomplish, if fear lingers in the background, it will always find a way to weaken your confidence. But here's what you need to understand about fear. The more you avoid it, the stronger it becomes. It starts taking over your thoughts, influencing your decisions, and shaping your actions. However, when you face it, when you look it in the eye, you take back control. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about learning to act despite fear. Every time you confront your fears, you become stronger, more resilient, and your confidence grows. I'm not saying you should dive headfirst into your biggest fears all at once. Start small. The key is to build the habit of confronting fear rather than running from it. The reality is, fear never fully disappears. It's always lurking, waiting for the right moment to creep back in. But the more you challenge it, the less power it has over you. Let me ask you, what is one thing you're afraid of right now? What have you been avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable? Maybe it's a tough conversation you need to have, or a goal you've been delaying out of fear of failure. Whatever it is, I challenge you to take a step toward it today. It doesn't have to be a big step, a small one, because each time you move toward your fear, you build unshakable confidence. Fear is like a mental illusion. It feels real in the moment, but when you push past it, you realize it was just a barrier in your mind. And once you break through that barrier, you are free to take risks, free to fail, and free to succeed. And that freedom, my friends, is the true essence of confidence. I've seen so many talented, capable people hold themselves back because of fear. They have the skills and the potential, but they allow fear to stop them from reaching their full potential. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let fear steal the life you could be living. A life filled with confidence, purpose, and fulfillment. The thing you fear the most is often the thing that will help you grow the most. It's not a coincidence. Fear is like a guide, pointing you toward the areas in your life that need the most development. So when you feel fear creeping in, don't run from it. Instead, use it as a signpost. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Then take action, because confidence is built through action, not by avoiding challenges. If you want to develop unshakable confidence, don't avoid fear. Face it, challenge it, push through it. With every fear you conquer, your confidence grows. And when you take control of your fears, you take control of your life. I wasn't born into riches, and I didn't have all the benefits that some people assume are necessary for success. But what I did have was a strong desire to learn. When I first stepped into the business world, I didn't know much about selling, leadership, or building connections. But I refused to let that hold me back. I started consuming books, attending workshops, and finding mentors. I absorbed knowledge like a sponge. And with every new insight I gained, my confidence grew little by little. One of the greatest mentors I had, Mr. Schoaf, taught me an invaluable lesson about lifelong learning. He said, you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. At first, I didn't fully grasp what he meant. I thought, if I put in hard work at my job, isn't that enough? But he clarified that a job is just one aspect of life. It provides financial support. But if you want to truly thrive, build enduring success, and develop confidence, you must invest in personal growth. You need to enhance your value, and the best way to do that is through self-education. Self-education doesn't always mean formal schooling. In fact, the knowledge that transforms your life usually won't come from a classroom. It will come from books, experiences, mentors, and the world around you. One of the smartest investments you can make is in a personal library filled with books that inspire, challenge, and teach you something valuable. Read biographies of successful people in areas where you want to grow. Study subjects like philosophy, psychology, business, health, anything that aligns with your life and goals. You don't need to read 100 books a year to see results. Just start with one. A single book can shift your perspective and in turn elevate your confidence. I remember reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book had a deep impact on me. Not because it revealed something I hadn't already sensed, but because it gave me the structure and language to truly understand success and the mindset that drives it. It felt like a light bulb had turned on, and with each new book I read, I felt more prepared, more capable, and more confident in shaping the life I envisioned for myself. But reading alone isn't enough. You must put knowledge into action. You can fill your mind with powerful ideas, but if you don't apply them, they remain useless. That's why I always tell people, don't just learn, take action. If you're learning about leadership, step up and lead. If you're studying sales, start selling. If you're reading about health, make positive changes in your lifestyle. True confidence is built through action, because once you see the impact of your knowledge applied in the real world, your belief in yourself skyrockets. Another important aspect of self-education is that it never truly ends. Confidence is tied to personal growth, and growth is a lifelong journey. There will never be a moment when you know everything. That's a good thing, because as long as you keep learning, you keep evolving. But if you stop learning, you stop growing, and when growth halts, confidence begins to fade. If you want to continue strengthening your confidence, make a lifelong commitment to learning. Stay curious, be open to fresh ideas, and embrace different perspectives. The world is constantly evolving, and the more you adapt, the more confident you become in handling whatever comes your way. Start with small steps. The key is to begin. Don't wait for the perfect plan, just take the first action. Ask yourself, when was the last time you invested in your own education? I'm not talking about getting another degree or certification, but about learning something new that enhances your growth as an individual, a professional, or a leader. If it's been a while, I challenge you to make that commitment today. No matter what it is, take that step, because every piece of knowledge you gain adds to your confidence toolkit. Here's the truth. Knowledge breeds confidence. The more you know, the more you can accomplish. The more belief you have in your ability to succeed. So invest in yourself. Invest in your mind, skills, and abilities. This investment will bring lifelong rewards, not just in success, but in the solid confidence that comes from knowing you are continuously growing, improving, and learning. Remember, the more you learn, the more you earn, not just in terms of money, but in confidence, opportunities, and fulfillment. If you want to develop unshakable confidence, make self-education a priority. The person who keeps learning keeps growing, and the person who keeps growing is the one who can handle any challenge that life presents. Surrounding yourself with the right people is another critical factor in maintaining strong confidence. The company you keep influences your self-belief more than you might realize. People around you either lift you up or drag you down. They either fill you with doubt or fuel your motivation. There is no middle ground. So take a moment to reflect. Who are you spending your time with? If you are constantly around people who undermine your dreams, doubt your potential, or fill your life with negativity, your confidence will inevitably take a hit. What many people don't realize is that confidence, just like doubt, is highly contagious. If you surround yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you to take risks, and believe in your abilities, That energy will shape your mindset. You will begin to trust yourself more because you are surrounded by individuals who see your potential. On the other hand, if your environment is filled with negativity, constant complaints, and a focus on what's wrong instead of what's possible, that energy will seep into your thoughts. Without even realizing it, you might start doubting yourself. I have witnessed this countless times. So, take a serious look at your circle. Are the people around you inspiring you or holding you back? Do they believe in your potential or make you second guess yourself? These are tough questions, but they matter because real, lasting confidence comes from surrounding yourself with the right people. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone who doesn't share your vision. You don't need to walk away from family or friends just because they don't think like you. But you do need to be conscious of how much energy and time you invest in relationships that don't contribute to your growth. More importantly, you need to be intentional about finding people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to become your best self. Success and confidence aren't solo journeys. Nobody achieves them alone. We all need a support system, a group of people who encourage us when we slow down, lift us when we fall, and remind us of our potential when self-doubt creeps in. One of the best ways to build confidence is to invest in strong relationships. Seek out mentors who have walked the path you wish to follow. Surround yourself with friends who dream big, take bold risks, and commit to personal growth. Because when you are around such people, you naturally grow too. It's not just about who you spend time with, it's about the quality of those relationships. Are you having meaningful conversations, or are you just discussing surface level topics? Are your interactions uplifting and empowering, or do they leave you feeling drained? Quality matters just as much as quantity when it comes to relationships that nurture confidence. Confidence is built within a strong community. When you become part of a group that shares your drive and ambition, you set yourself up for continued growth. The right people help reinforce the belief in yourself, and that belief is what ultimately fuels unshakable confidence. When you surround yourself with people who share your values, goals, and dedication to growth, you begin to feel stronger. You start believing in yourself more because you witness the people around you believing in themselves. This creates a positive cycle where their confidence boosts yours and your confidence lifts theirs. So, here's my suggestion. Take a moment to assess your relationships. Are you surrounded by people who believe in your potential? If not, it's time to make a change. Begin seeking out new relationships, mentors, and communities where confidence is the norm rather than the exception. Remember, confidence isn't built in isolation. It grows in the company of people who see the best in you, even when you can't see it in yourself. Surround yourself with the right people and watch your confidence grow as a result. Next, let's talk about failure as a crucial part of the process. This might sound odd at first. Failure and confidence don't seem like they belong together, do they? Most people assume confidence comes from success, from getting things right, or from winning. However, here's something important to realize. Real confidence doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from understanding that failure is an essential part of the journey towards success. The more at ease you get with failure, the more confident you'll become. I know, failure stings. It's embarrassing. It can knock you down. But here's the key. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the same journey. Everyone who has ever succeeded at something has failed many times. The difference between those who develop lasting confidence and those who don't is how they handle failure. Mr. Schoaf said that failure is simply a few mistakes in judgment repeated every day. The key is to learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. That realization was a game changer for me. I learned that failure wasn't the end. It was feedback. It showed me where I needed to improve, adjust, and grow. The more I embraced that mindset, the more confident I became in my ability to succeed. The truth is, when you stop fearing failure and realize that it's part of the process, it no longer holds you back. You start taking more risks, trying new things, and growing more confident as a result. Ask yourself, how do you react when you fail? Do you beat yourself up? Do you start doubting your abilities? Do you let failure stop you from trying again? If so, it's time to change your mindset about failure. Instead of seeing it as a reflection of your abilities, start seeing it as a tool for learning and growth. Every failure teaches you something valuable about yourself, the process, and what works. That learning is what leads to success. Think about learning to ride a bike. Nobody gets on a bike for the first time and rides perfectly. What happens? You wobble, fall, and scrape your knees. Does that mean you'll never be able to ride a bike? Of course not. You get back on, a little wiser and more aware of how to balance, steer, and move forward. With practice and persistence, eventually you ride confidently. The same is true in life. Every time you fall, you're learning. And every time you rise, your confidence grows. Here's something to think about. The fear of failure is often worse than the failure itself. How many times have you avoided doing something because you were scared it wouldn't work out? Maybe you didn't apply for that job because you didn't think you'd get it. Maybe you didn't ask someone out because you feared rejection. Or perhaps you didn't pursue a dream because you were afraid of falling short. But here's the thing, by avoiding failure, you're also avoiding success. You're staying small, sticking to your comfort zone, and that's no way to build confidence. So if you want to be more confident, you have to get comfortable with the idea of failing. Not just comfortable, but embrace it. Wear it as a badge of honor. Every failure means you're trying, learning, and growing. And the more you fail, the closer you get to success. Let me be clear, this doesn't mean you should fail on purpose. What I'm saying is, when failure comes, and it will, you need to see it as a natural part of the process, not the end. Extract the lesson, make adjustments, and keep moving forward. Each time you do this, you build resilience, and resilience is one of the most crucial ingredients for lasting confidence. Ask yourself, what's something you failed at recently? How did you respond? Did you let it knock you down for too long? Or did you use it as an opportunity to learn and improve? If you haven't fully embraced your failures yet, now is the time. Start viewing them as stepping stones, not obstacles. Remember, the only real failure is the failure to learn from your mistakes. Success, as Winston Churchill said, is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Isn't that a beautiful way to look at it? It's not the failure that defines you, but how you respond to it. Your ability to keep going, to keep trying, and to keep believing in yourself, even when things don't go as planned, that's where confidence comes from. It doesn't come from getting it right every time, but from knowing that no matter how many times you get it wrong, you'll keep moving forward. If you want to build lasting confidence, stop fearing failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it as a tool for growth. The more you fail and keep going, the more confident you will become in your ability to succeed. And that's how true, unshakable confidence is built. Remember, failure isn't fatal, and it isn't final. It's simply a part of the journey. The only real failure is giving up. So long as you're learning and moving forward, you're on the path to success. And with every step, your confidence will grow stronger. Building long-lasting confidence isn't a one-time effort. It's not something you achieve and then forget. No, it's a lifelong journey, one that requires ongoing attention, growth, and discipline. But the good news is that by following these principles, you can build a foundation of confidence that will withstand anything life throws your way. Confidence is built over time, through action, through learning, and through resilience. It's not about never failing, never doubting, or never feeling fear. It's about how you handle those moments. It's about what you do next. Confidence comes from knowing you can rely on yourself, that you have the mindset, tools, and support system to face whatever life presents. So, take these 5 principles and start applying them to your life today. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. Every small step you take toward growth is a step toward building lasting.